Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ASL Season 3 Prime League. And to start us off is a bit of a little thing going on. We'll get back to that, but that's to be introduced. The first player is going to be spawning in the bottom left corner, representing Root for Fruit. El Capitan, it is CatZ.
And his opponent, spawning in the top right, but some of his buildings have migrated a little. Representing Red Bloods and playing from Denmark, it's Lillekanin. Sure, I guess.
This is such a funky opening here. Usually, you'll see a Reaper come out, but usually it's not this close to the Zerg base, as it literally is right inside of the natural of CatZ. That is as proxy as you can get. And CatZ has no idea about it, and he played it out was the greediest opening he could, which is pretty standard, but it is going to be a little bit of a problem here for him. Even though it is only one barracks.
Tricky, I think. It's not something you really want to find as a Zerg player. Suddenly, I didn't check, and instant cancel from CatZ as soon as he sees.
Well, may have showed his hand a little bit too early there, as he did not let it finish. He would have got a free hatchery. But now, look at this. CatZ's response is an immediate Roach Warren. He's been mining the gas, and he didn't even start the speed. Yep. So I don't think we're going to see speed at all. It's going to be straight into Roach, which is a nice move here.
And this reminds me of a game that is well documented in StarCraft history. This reminds me of that game where Jimmy ran his roaches past on Zelnaga Caverns.
Yeah! You know what? This could be it.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit of a repeat. And it's funny because I believe the person who made that video was en route at the time, perhaps.
He certainly was. He could have been with Complexity. He's been with a few people, but nowadays, believe he's independent.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like this too with the burrow. It's interesting.
Yeah. And CatZ getting burrow, actually.
Yeah.
The burrow, that is an interesting choice. Jimmy did not go for burrow, so we'll have to see whether it pays off for CatZ, going from the accepted meta of not getting burrow and just running past about 6 bunkers. But I think that this does probably have CatZ. I feel like he's done this at least a couple of times before, because people don't just go burrow off the top of their heads. That is unusual, to say the least.
Yeah, well, he immediately canceled that base and then went for it here.
Yeah.
And the fact is here that Lillekanin is going to have 2 bunkers, 2 Marines in each one. Won't probably, maybe, kill 1 Roach on the way out, I would assume. But he's setting up so defensively at home, getting a siege tank as well as a starport that does have a tech lab on it as well. So this is going to be probably the worst situation for CatZ, even if he does make it across the map. Yeah,
it's going to be at least a little tricky with those tanks coming out if he pushes his way across. But then again, the depot is currently down, and if he has burrow roaches, mind you, it's not burrow move roaches, is it? It's just he's getting less, so I guess it will be, or might well be.
He could be, yeah, but it's still off of 1 base. CatZ is ahead in drones, but he may even just use it to try to bust out of his.
He's getting a spire.
Oh, I like that a lot. Oh, this is really cool. And I actually thought that. Did he cancel burrow?
Yeah, he did.
He did cancel burrow then. Okay.
Totally. He canceled burrow, and is going for spire. He's getting link speed. This is an extremely unusual build, and
it really is.
The whole area is cleaned up at the bottom.
You know what he did? He went in with an overlord. He saw the starport building, and he also saw the factory with the tech lab on it. So he's like, okay, this is not going to work at all. It'll be an absolute disaster. And the big thing is that Lillekanin is adding on. He's looking to go into mech just now. Oh, dropping 2 command centers. No eBay. Going Banshee and tank. But I believe he's getting a Viking as well. But these Meritas are going to be able to do quite a bit.
Yeah, at the moment, Lillekanin's barracks. I love that because he's a mech player, right? So for him to sacrifice a barracks isn't that big a deal. He can just use it for the scouting. The Banshee is there, being as annoying as Banshees can be, and actually scouts the spire, which is a fantastic catch for Lillekanin.
Yep, right at that moment when the Banshee did come in, he did scout it, and That's pretty big, because now he's able to prepare for it. He can make a Thor. No, he can't. Not yet. He doesn't have an armory, but he does have an eBay.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have that eBay as just an emergency response, and of course the turret does come down now, but that armor is on its way. He will presumably have a Thor coming out of that in short order to deal with this Mutalisk threat, because it is terrifying. And CatZ, although it's a surprise to have Mutas off one base, no one sees that coming. It's just not what people do. For CatZ to do this, he's not going to really necessarily do that much with it, because it is only 4 Mutalisks, and they probably don't beat one turret.
Yeah. Not at all. It's only one base, but here comes the second base already up here for CatZ, getting the gas immediately. And that barracks is putting in so much work already, as you see that it's dropping down at that location of the third. But you know what? With Lillekanin going for mech, CatZ maybe even be able to go for that gold, and it's something that I would not fault him for or be surprised if he did. But he does want to clear out that barracks.
Yeah, instead of going for that, CatZ goes, okay, don't care, gonna go for the gold.
Yeah, there he goes, yep.
And I think what we're likely to see because of that is when Lillekanin pushes out, if he scouts this, and that is an assumption in its own right, but if and when he scouts this, he will presumably siege up on the low ground and use some high ground vision to just blast it to tiny pieces. But CatZ has got a lot of time before that base is likely scouted, and that's going to mean that he's mining that sweet gold minerals that Zergs love so much.
Yep. Oh, we got is that me? Oh, okay. Bit of lag there. Sorry about that, but
I didn't notice it, if it helps, so...
Alright, yeah, but yeah, you're completely correct, and it depends on what kind of style of mech that Lillekanin is going to be going for. Does he do the 2-base timing style, or does he go... Oh, is that a Widow Mine?
Yeah, 2 Widow Mines.
Oh! Wow. 2 mutas lost. But CatZ is recognizing what this is, getting a 4th base as well, playing it super greedy, and just going for the mutas first. Most likely going to be... I would assume Muta Swarm Host is the kind of response you typically see, but there's no infestation pit that has been dropped here for CatZ just yet.
No, he hasn't gone for that, has he? Investing all of his gas into Mutalisks and their upgrades. I guess this is just the byproduct of such a delayed start for CatZ. I mean, he only really managed to expand about the 9 minutes mark, which is crazy late for any Zerg. And because of that, now getting himself up to 4 bases where he kind of wants to be. But this expansion protocol is hugely unusual for anyone.
Yeah. But he's playing the greediest of the greed, getting that gold base all nice and saturated, even taking the gases already, so he's getting as much gas as he can. Yeah, even getting the... Oh my god, are we just going to see mass muta, or is it going to be anything else to supplement it? I think he's just going for it, because I don't see any infestation pit. I don't even see any evo chambers, for ground upgrade, so...
No, it could just be straight mass Mutalisk. That would be an absolutely insane decision to come out of CatZ. But the thing is, no one would see it coming. In this composition, we've got a couple of Vikings, we've got a Raven, and 2 Thors. And he is producing more Thors. We are seeing more Thors coming out of Lillekanin, but normally people don't make more than a couple of Thors. They make maybe 3-4 Thors to deal with the mutas, and that's it. Because the Zerg makes everything else. And Lillekanin is... that Overlord baiting the Widow Mine's really nice. Yeah. It was towards the main. Really smart. But yeah, mass muta would probably be quite off-putting.
Yeah, he's going to go for it. And, Thors are really good against dealing with the mutas, and they can get a nice shot off, especially from a very long distance away if you have vision of the mutas when they come in. But I don't know. If you kill if you kill the Thors, then the rest of the mech army is just so vulnerable. And if they're on a push, they don't have the turrets to support them either, so... there's really not that many Vikings out yet, but they are being produced, and then the second starport is being made. So this is a very interesting style that I haven't really seen.
Yeah, very true. CatZ now, having established his muta count, he's not going for mass muta. He's getting some lanes, he's adding a Baneling Nest. A little bit disappointing, really. I kind of wanted to see like 60 just swoop in and crush everything.
But he's just continuing to make them. He's using a very small force of mutas right now to harass while massing the rest of the mutas at the bottom of the map. So he's trying to trick Lillekanin and saying that I'm not investing too much into mutas. And I don't know. We'll see if he's buying it. It's quite a bit of Thors.
He is a sneaky man. That's how many mutas is hidden down there? 17 from the look of things.
Yeah.
That's a lot of mutas for someone to not realise are present. And Lillekanin is pushing out with a not very well air-supported army.
Nope. It's only going to be 3 Thors with this, and if those 3 Thors go down, oh boy, there's going to be just 3 Vikings. Well, I guess they do have the Raven there for a really nice
3 Vikings and a Raven.
If he decides to do that, or you could even decide to go for the point defense drone. I don't know. When does CatZ go and reveal this? Is he going to fly into the scanner? No. He's going for it. The ultimate magic box. 3 Thors are in the same area. And is he going for it? There are SCVs for the repair, but the 4th Thor does get into the fray. And oh my god, so much damage is being done right now, but
I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to get it. There's enough mutas here. They are taking significant losses, but there's enough of them. Clumping up for a moment there. Not what you want to do against a Thor. But now there's almost nothing left of Lillekanin's army that can deal with these mutalisks. And it's all going to get cleaned up by them.
It will be. There are so many mutas right now. And CatZ is losing a few drones here, but more than a few actually. But the rest of the army, and what an expensive army that is from Lillekanin.
Big losses by the Terran player. Does actually scout the extra base down towards the bottom right-hand corner, but just a general cleanup from CatZ. Really, really nice. And he can remake the drones much faster than a mech army can be remade.
Yeah. So we do see more resources lost for CatZ. It is about 8.2k to 7.8. So about 1,000. Now it went up, so 400 or so behind. But no, CatZ just cleaned up a really expensive and slow to make mech army. And now he has Mass Muta and Lillekanin. What does he have to deal with this right now?
He's got a couple of Vikings and not a lot else. Pushing forward with those mutalisks, killing off all the Vikings as fast as he can, fighting the turrets, stopping them being produced. There are a couple of anti-air units, but really not that many. Magic boxing over the Thors as well, just doing huge amounts of damage there.
Yeah, and making nothing but drones behind all of this. He is saturating up those 4 bases as he does retake them. And Lillekanin is still on 3 bases. And he's going to be going to most likely deal with the Thors, while CatZ is going to be transitioning into the Swarm Host. So that's going to be a really nice move here, because Lillekanin is going to be freaking out, panicking, saying, how do I deal with the mutas when CatZ isn't even going to be making any more mutas at all?
Yeah, a bit of a Hellion Rhomboid down towards the 3rd base as well. Going to kill off a few more of those fresh drones that CatZ remade, but the mutas coming all the way back home, they are very fast, so have the option to do that, but it's not really ideal. They want to be out across the map, and that's another good case of someone defending by attacking.
Yep. Lillekanin has not made a 4th command center just yet. He's sticking on the 3 bases that he has. And he may just try to go max out and go for another push, but he's going to get surprised most likely when all of those Swarm Hosts are there, because CatZ is going to have enough time to get a nice force of them out. But what I do worry about is the creep spread for CatZ. You know, Swarm Hosts are great and all, but they're just even more deadly when there's creep, so...
Absolutely. The creep spread isn't that great for CatZ, but it's about halfway across the map. It's not as good as he might want to be at for a swarm hosting player, though. And there's a lot of Thors in this mix for Lillekanin. He's learned his lesson. He's not going to let the anti-air get the best of him. This is, in fact, a mostly Thor Viking army with just a little bit of extra tanking on the ground, but that's going to work fairly well until the swarm hosts actually get out. Then it's going to swing perhaps back in CatZ's favor.
Yeah, there's really not that many swarm hosts out here. There's only going to be 12 total when this happens. And these are on 2-1. Remember, there are no upgrades on the ground here for CatZ, so these swarm hosts aren't really going to have as much fighting power as they would really like to. There's a lot of mech coming out of here.
Yeah, this is a scary, scary army that you really don't want to have to fight in this situation as CatZ, and that's why he's sending out those waves of locusts and then unburrowing, trying to give the extra 6 swarm hosts a chance to come in and reinforce the army. But one of them is just walking straight in and kills itself.
It just feels so bad, like, I don't want to live in this world anymore.
Runs screaming into the mech horde. But that's very unfortunate. Another one doing it. CatZ, rally points. You can't do this.
And a lot of leaders, where are they going? They're trying to kill the reinforcements, but the real issue at hand is the fact that this is an unstoppable mech force. Right now, CatZ dropping rapidly in supply. 140 supply to the 170 of Lillekanin. 16,000 to 12,800 units lost. This is just way too much.
The damage is just too huge, and even though it looked for a while like CatZ was able to recover, I guess Lillekanin's just solid macro start has set him up well. But it is worth noting that this is basically an all-in from him. If he doesn't win with this push, he has no 4th base to fall back on. His money is dropping very fast. His income is gonna only be high for a very short time, but this push is doing the damage it needs to do. It is killing off all the swarm hosts, and the Mutaflock is quite limited by this point. GG.
GG. All right, we are back with game number 2 in this best of 3 series in the ASL Prime League Season 3. This is Group C, and spawning in the top left corner, it is the yellow Zerg player down 1 game, facing elimination from this whole tournament. It is going to be the Root for Root captain, CatZ.
And his opponent, opening up with a very, very quick command center, but originally of bottom right fame. In the green now, from Red Bloods, it's the Terran player, Lillekanin.
Alright, we're seeing what we saw a little bit earlier. Root, CatZ going for that, third base location incredibly fast.
Yeah, I still like that. Even though he didn't win that game against Massa, I still like that as a strategic decision. It feels right to me, because it allows for that elevated creep spread rate. It allows for that walling off across the front. If you lose it and fall back to the natural, you've already mined a lot from that base, so it feels like less of a loss, and can defend the natural after that point. So it feels good to me, unless the Terran is going for something super aggressive, in which case you might lose it with absolutely nothing, and then you're in real trouble.
Yeah, and we see that Lillekanin is not doing that yet. Going for that command center first into 1 gas, though. Has he even dropped a barracks? Okay, he has. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the bunker coming down, and the Marines to fill it on their way.
Yep. And it's going to go right for a Marine, so we will see a factory come down with the first 100 gas, and shall we see it? Deadwing, I'm telling you, it's a great map for mech, and you're able to secure 3 bases relatively easily. And it's going to be up to CatZ to see how he wants to actually deal with it. We see some people deal with mech in very different ways, Sometimes, of course, you'll see the Zerg player just take a bunch of bases and play it super greedy. But we've also seen things like, Roach Sinitis with Queen support to deal with the Cloak Banshee or something, or even Roach drops, or just... I don't know. There's many different ways to deal with it. Yeah,
there's a lot of strategies. I think that CatZ might be leaning towards the Swarm Host. Because he has, he tried to use them in the last game to deal with the big mech force, and we'll have to see whether he does choose to go along that route. Swarm Host games can be quite interesting and diverse, but at the same time can be the exact opposite of that thing. So we'll have to see how it plays out as we move into this. Lillekanin going for a very fast third command center, though, so it could well elevate into the macro wars.
Well, the thing is here is that there has only been 1 gas taken, but is that a factory SC? I believe a second factory going down. The Ling inside of the main does go down as well. Lillekanin is going to be going for that, at least that double factory style for now. And with that third base coming down, if he's able to secure it, he should be able to add a few more of those factories if he goes for mech. Or, just drop that starport. I always wonder, too, what kind of style of mech will he be going for,
I don't know yet. I do know that that's a second factory before starport. We saw this. We saw this before, didn't we? Against
Nimbus.
Minigun?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was on the Nimbus game.
Yeah. It worked quite well, then, if I recall.
It did. It worked very well for him in that game.
Yes. So that's one of those is going to go... Is that another factory? Yeah, a third factory before starport. So really not that bothered about Banshee pressure or Ravens or anything in this game. Lillekanin just getting a very, very strong army out as fast as possible with a greedy third as well. I kind of like that as a decision. With the greedy third, you need to be able to defend.
Yeah. The CatZ is playing it greedy as well. He does have... let's see here. He only just now got his 100 gas, and I wonder if he will get that lair. So it's going to go right into lair, and we'll see what kind of response he does decide to use. I don't know if he's actually scouted the factories. I don't think he has. I don't know if he knows about the additional factories, but judging from the last game, he may assume that it is going to be some kind of style that he did see in the last game. But no Roach Warren here coming just yet. I'm assuming that it may be very fast Swarmhost or Muta but there's no Roach Warren, and that does worry me because look what Lillekanin is doing. He's doing for a very, very Hellion-centered opener.
Yeah, and following up with double armory, which means this possibly isn't, well, it means it almost certainly isn't just to unlock Hellbats, but will unlock Hellbats with the blue flame, meaning that when these Hellions push, they can do some serious damage and be very versatile in how they attack.
Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of Hellions without the blue flame yet. And, whoa, all the drones of the third are going to be getting taken out. Slowlings, and remember here, there is no speed for the Lings because he just wanted to save all of his gas for whatever tech he does choose with this lair. Oh my goodness, that is lots of massive damage being done.
It was huge damage dealt there, but CatZ is remaking it as fast as he can, getting those more drones out on the way, and all the Hellions were cleaned up, so despite the damage dealt...
It was only 8 drones.
Wow, actually, yeah, it seemed like more. It must have been the Lings. So yeah, not as bad. Lillekanin actually coming out on the worst end of that.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't think that was worth it. You know, he lost 10 Hellions there for 8 drones. So not even the same amount of drones did he kill with the Hellions. And yes, Hellions do cost double the amount of drones. So yeah, that's actually really bad for Lillekanin there. Not expected either. He went in right before Blue Flame finished too. So just hoping to get something done.
Yeah, but there is a second force of them on their way out. Now, with Blue Flame, they are going to be extra effective against their targets of choice, drones, and sometimes Lings, preferably drones.
Yep.
Yeah. The creep spread coming out on that map as well, and the infestation. In fact, he's getting infestation pit and spire. This could be just for versatility, so CatZ can be more reactive. It could also be because he lost the lair before and didn't have an infestation pit, and is reacting to that previous loss. I don't know.
Never again. Never again.
Hellions pushing into the third base as well, trying to get some damage done this time, and good splits coming out from CatZ.
But a lot of damage. This is Blue Flame going down, and these Lings still don't have speed. And even just with 2 Blue Flame Hellions, lots of devastation can be happening. Oh my god, look at all of those Lings going down. There's 3 Hellions still alive still.
Yeah. Trying to get as much damage out as possible, but no. Loses them again.
Well, despite that, 17 workers were killed, but no, look. 82 drones still on the map. And CatZ has just been remaking in drones, and I like that, you know, just saying, okay, I'll take the losses. You're trading your Hellions in, but just go ahead and remake those drones.
Yeah, he's going to have to, but he's just getting basically 4 base saturation, which is crazy amounts of workers. But it just shows that CatZ values, he's a man who places high value on his economy, and you can't undervalue the economy in this game. It is the backbone of everything else you do.
Yeah, especially on a map like Deadwing, where you're able to secure it like this. Lillekanin using the map, of course, to his advantage, and then CatZ says, hey, I'll raise you 1 base. And go ahead right for that 4th incredibly fast. And it's already saturated, as you said. He's up to 90 drones and is going for the Swarmhost Muta style immediately. So he has the gas, he's going for it. And this time, he's not just going Muta and then going for Swarmhost, you know, like after the fact as a reaction. He's getting them at the same time, so he will be able to deal with some kind of push if he's able to get these Swarmhost out. How many does he have? 3 at the moment.
Quite a lot.
Are on the way.
He's got 4 more just being made, I think. So now up to a total of 7. Yeah, 7. Even with a high follow-up. So this may just be to kind of to make up time and generally put some pressure on whilst CatZ macros up. Like, I don't know what he's going to do with Hive.
He's going to get just getting Vipers right now in order to force engagements, in order to do damage. And because right now, if they didn't get the Hive, he would have these Swarmhosts and he would have the Mutas, but you'd see a situation where they just kind of shoot the Locust, you know, forward and then they get destroyed. But when you get the Vipers out, you can Blinding Cloud if you really want to force an engagement, or you can start to abduct to start to whittle away, and then you play that War of Attrition where eventually, you know, the Terran player will run out of resources before you do.
Yeah, it is often the case. The Terran units are more expensive, and, well, they will eventually just get ground down by the Swarm Hosts and the Locust, which, of course, the Locust at least cost nothing. CatZ taking a 5th base, going for that greed. He is so greedy in this game, exactly as you said he might well do. Just playing it out.
Yeah, he knows exactly how to play this style on this map, and I think this map is definitely the maybe the trigger as well. It's a map where you're able to do this and not worry about mining out. You know, you can take it incredibly fast. There are certain maps like Overgrowth where if you do try to do this super greedy style, eventually if the Terran player does turtle it up enough, you just run out of bases that you can actually take. And it gets really difficult when those games do go long and you have a player that knows how to play that style. But CatZ has the creep spread already up here at the middle of the map, past it, getting those Swarm Hosts out. And this is a sticky situation for Lillekanin, especially with the Vipers on the way. Like, look at how close the Swarm Hosts are able to be here so comfortably.
Yeah, the mech just isn't mobile enough to really catch them if they choose. The Swarm Hosts can just jump up and run away. And I really like this addition of the PF by Lillekanin. I think that's really smart, just getting a really high health and tanky unit in the wall to just add a bit of extra splash to help deal with the Swarm Hosts. And CatZ even pulling back a little.
It's just like, okay, gonna set up his position.
Yeah. The thing is, that would have been seen by the sensor tower, so he knows.
Oh wow, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's just going to set it up. Vipers are on the way. I believe he is getting the energy up right now. Mutas have been kind of inactive as they really can't do anything. They could try to go and get some damage done in the mineral lines, but it's really not that worth it. You know, they've served their purpose just to deal with potential Banshees in the mid game, and then just kind of deal with Hellion run-bys, I guess, is pretty much their purpose for now.
And the thing is, right now, CatZ has no means to get at this mech, but back at home, he is getting some Vipers. There are some Vipers being made that are now sucking the life out of the third base, or natural base as he actually took it, and getting up to full energy, so they'll be able to either yoink those tanks out of position, or they'll be able to drop blinding clouds, although there's a lot of missile turrets, so I think that's a serious risk. But yeah. It's just more versatility. And even a second Spire coming down.
Wow. Maybe, I mean, Swarm Host must have been the son of the one from Overgrowth.
Yeah. Survival of the fittest, and they are clearly not the fittest.
The Darwin Award goes to...
Boom.
But we're gonna... But, I mean, there are a lot of missile turrets here, but, you know, the Blinding Cloud does stop them from shooting. I know it does work for the planetary. I don't know if it does work for turrets, but it's a lot of infestors, actually, quite a bit. I've never seen that many infestors in this stage of the game.
He's got some. They're all towards the top with the Vipers and the Mutas.
Yeah, that's a lot of them, right? Like, I'm wondering... they're really good against Ravens, and like when
he's getting neural parasite. He's getting neural parasite.
Whoa. Behemoth reactor. Is that a fusion? Did somebody say for fusion core? Catobrusa operation?
Do you think these guys are just making? These guys are just getting every upgrade because whatever.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, what is this? Yeah. Neuroparasite, Greater Spire coming down. Going to be able to upgrade 2 upgrades at a time with the shield and the Carapace and the attack. These are putting in work though.
I want to see Broodlords.
Yeah, I think, you know, the Mutas getting killed is really not the worst situation. I don't think that the Mutas are going to really serve any real purpose except for just dealing with Hellion. So freeing supply up and getting some Corruptors in order to get Broodlords may be a wonderful idea. I
guess so. If I'd like to see it work, if he could even use the Corruptors to clear out the anti-air, like the Battlers and the Vikings, and then follow it up with just a transition to Broodlords when there's no anti-air left.
Look at how many starports are in the main of Lillekanin. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 starports. I don't even know if there's another one somewhere else, but that's a lot. And he's making 5 battle cruisers at a time. Yamato Cannon is online, and that is just a lot of units. That is a ton of units.
Even getting chitinous plating for the Ultralisks. I guess this is so CatZ can transition however he likes. If he loses his army, he's got a massive bank. It's absolutely huge because he's taken the entire map. And then following that up, whenever he loses this army, and it is likely to happen because mech is often a war of attrition, when he loses the army, it's going to be time to remax on whatever will kill what's left best.
I don't know, I mean, I guess as soon as you clean up all the tanks, even Thors are pretty damn good against Ultras, to be honest. I really like to see sometimes the Ling Flood, you know, getting the melee upgrades. I think he has been getting melee upgrades if he's going to be going into Ultras, and then getting the Adrenal Glands so that, because Thors don't really deal with the Lings too well. So, but, I mean, right now we're looking at just, that's exactly it, the war of attrition. picking off units and units and just denying the gas mining of the Terran player, while CatZ goes ahead and takes all the gas. Seeker Missile going down though. Infestor gives his life for the swarm, realizing
yeah, he tried so hard, but unfortunately couldn't get it in there. It is very much just kind of, as you were saying, it is a war of attrition. The Locusts are going to keep pushing away, and they are free. The Infestors are throwing out those free infested Terrans, which aren't that great anymore. They did get nerfed since Wings of Liberty. And in general, they might kill that. I don't think they're going to get a command center. It's just about trying to be as cost effective as possible, because if CatZ only uses 3 units, he never needs anything.
Exactly. But he's still on about 100 workers, which is what I do worry just a bit about. Because he doesn't need that many workers when it comes to this stage of the game. It's just more so about mining the gas out on the map, and then having your, a few bases mining minerals. So as you see Lillekanin kind of sacrificing some of his workers so that his army can be even stronger. And though, CatZ has no idea about this battlecruiser transition at all. No. And he's just been trying to deny the gas mining of Lillekanin. And right now, he had lost that battle on the right side. And now Lillekanin gets kind of like an extra life anytime he's able to start mining gas once more.
Oh, steals a Thor. The Locusts will have that. But as you said, there are so many battlecruisers and Ravens just kind of sat in the main base. And I think what I think should happen is CatZ will mine out a couple more bases and then turn a lot of his drones into static defense with his massive bank. It is possibly one of the largest banks I've ever seen in competitive.
Yeah.
And at the same time, what I think is going to happen, because that CatZ has got a plan, what I think is going to happen is Lillekanin will move out too early, and he will hit CatZ before he's ready, and will win the game. I don't know. That's just my slightly out of the park prediction.
Alright, well, I mean, to be honest, it's not that far from what could happen, because the way that he's been hiding them, and just kind of making it seem like I am stuck on these bases, and I'm just going to sit back and do absolutely nothing, but yet, behind the scenes, like, that's exactly what's happening. But, CatZ is getting up his upgrades, too. So he's preparing for that air transition. He's already getting +3 attack, and he also has the +2 carapace on the way. So he'll be more than ready for it. He does have the gas bank. It's just a matter of when they trade, right? Like, will CatZ have enough time to actually make the units?
That's kind of what I think he needs the wall for already. He needs to be getting towards that. But as it stands, I guess he is in a safe position. The swarm hosts are just shoving out those locusts, doing as much damage as possible. And CatZ is taking every single base on the map that isn't currently occupied by Lillekanin.
Yeah. And like I was saying, he really knows how to play it. And when you do that greedy style, you set up this position and you expect it to be going a very long time. And you just know that every time that you can deny the Terran player from going and taking another base, that is a win for you. So right now he's saying, all right, you might have got that 5th base, so I have this kind of timer that got added to the game the longer that you are passive. So if you can keep on denying it, then it's going to be better for CatZ. Just impatient, waiting for him to move on out, and then we'll see. It's such a crazy situation.
Up to the top, he just neural the Thor.
Did he? I heard the sound of it, but I couldn't remember. I was like, what? That's a weird...
Yeah, the Thor, he neural the Thor with the Infestors. It's really... I never thought I'd say this, but I have actually missed seeing a big ball of Infestors. It looks kind of pretty, but at the time when it was just like what everyone did all the time, I hated it so much.
Mm-hmm. Like Lean I'd always see Lean games, and I'm like, oh, well... Infestor, like so many.
Scarlet as well. Like before Scarlet was before Scarlet played anything other than Mass Infestor, which was when she kind of came to prominence, she'd just get like 66 Infestors or whatever, and win using that only.
Troll games, yeah. She did troll with them. I've seen a few even on like Belshire Vestige where she was like Mass Infestor with that Ling support. But it was just funny.
Lingfester is a weird style. Not something we see much these days.
I know. I used to love that style so much.
Uh-oh. The Sky Terran's moving out. Look at that. That's beautiful. Look at it on the minimap. It's amazing.
Yep. Look at that. It's like... It looks like an airplane. Like the...
Yeah.
Like a giant airplane.
Yeah. That was beautiful. But yeah, at this point...
ready?
The battlecruisers are revealed to some extent, and I guess. Oh, the Neurals are starting, and as soon as the Neurals start, they're using Yamato cannon on each other. I can't even tell what's happening in that engagement, but I think it's coming out in Lillekanin's favor.
I would say so too. He did try a little bit of a cute move, but it didn't end up doing too much. He lost all of his infestors, which he will need for the Ravens, and I think that was oh no, he didn't lose all of them, but that was a lot of infestors to give. It does free up some supply for the Corruptors, but no, he's making 11 more infestors. It's really what you need against the Ravens, man. The Ravens are so scary when they come into that big number.
And the battle cruisers are just tearing through those infested Terrans, who are presumably doing some damage somewhere, but it's very hard to see it.
Yep, and these mules are not mana mules, folks. They are to repair the battle cruisers, I think. Okay, yeah, there we go.
There was a serious wave of Corruptors that came out as well to attempt to deal with the battlecruisers of Lillekanin. But the thing is, there's PDDs to help here, and it's so challenging for CatZ to actually engage sufficiently when there's this many Ravens, this many battlecruisers, that he's allowed to become established.
Oh my god, yeah, that force is looking pretty scary here. It is 156 army supply. There are only 38 SCVs on the map, so that means that army supply is pretty fearsome, but that static defense putting in some work, and it's gonna be enough. You know, Lillekanin does still have a huge bank, and he even took a base on the top right, so if he's able to assassinate the gases there, then, you know, this isn't like a push out that's supposed to win the game and then have no real backbone, like anything to follow it up. He's going for it.
Yeah, he doesn't need to worry that much. It's not like Lillekanin can't remax. He's got that money. Both of them have.
Yeah. CatZ does have more. He even has 87 Liva, so it's not like CatZ hasn't been skimping on his injects. But,
nice. And all those bases too.
Yep. The big thing is that he's been mining those gases there. Oh, this is such a scary army here. I mean, imagine this in Legacy of the Void when they can just like warp.
Yeah. That is going to be absolutely terrifying. Although apparently they do need to scan first now, which is the smallest constellation in the entire world, because they can totally do that already. So, yeah. At this point, this is very, very intimidating from Lillekanin, and CatZ is trying to find a way to trade off against it. Even if he had Tempests, the unit that counters massive air the hardest in the entire game, the Ravens would be shutting it down with the PDDs. So this is incredibly difficult for anyone to really attack, and CatZ is actually sending his swarm host over to the other side in an attempt to deal with it, and I don't even think he can do anything there, because the tanks are there, the planetary fortresses are there. It's just so tricky.
Ooh, even more infestors going down on the other side of the map. Yeah, I agree. Like, how does he break this? And what he needs to do is pretty much break the bases of Lillekanin. Lillekanin is doing this so fantastically too. Like, taking the base on the bottom left, he's going to go ahead and mule that up and get the gases as well. And he's just continuing to push forward, doing damage while not really sustaining any damage of his own.
Yeah, I really want to see a push with Vipers from CatZ. He is getting extra energy on those Vipers as we speak over in... I couldn't even begin to count what number base this is, but in one of his outlying bases. And if he pulls battlecruisers into the Corruptors, he might be able to pick them off. But the problem is this huge bank for Lillekanin. He's going to be able to make 10, 12 more battlecruisers before he even runs out of the money he has now. And his income is at nearly 2,000 a minute.
Yep. And, here he goes. He snuck up upon that left side, actually. I don't think CatZ realized that he was going that way. And here comes that Corruptor army and the Vipers. But they're going to fly into the Vikings. Oh, no. He's losing all of his Vipers right now. And he needs every single one of those. Oh, no. What a... well, it's not like he doesn't have the bank, but still. It's the time and the energy that is building up on them.
CatZ is sending borrowed infestors through a scan, which is... He almost sent them back for a moment, but I think realized that it was something that he couldn't do anything about, and spewing out as many of those infested Terrans as he can to drive away the battlecruisers. But they could just take this fight. They fight Marines so well. Infested Marines aren't even as good as Marines.
No, right? And these swarm hosts are pretty useless. They're just trying so hard. The Vipers could have been used to even try to break this, but they're just not anymore. And CatZ has the money and he has the bank, but he isn't making anything. He lost his hive. Oh, he lost his hive. He can't make any more Vipers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that is so big.
Nice fungals, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to deal with them. He hasn't fungled everything in the army, and there's so many battlecruisers that are still alive. Plus, it takes, like, takes nearly 20 fungals to kill a battle cruiser.
Oh man, well the Corruptors are trying to get a little bit of action going on. These Vipers are CatZ's lifeline. This is all he has as he does try to get back up to Hive. Did he lose his... Oh my god, I think he lost his Infestation Pit too. And we're looking at a repeat of game... I don't remember what number it was, but... No, he has his Infestation Pit, so he just hasn't started his Hive. This is brutal. CatZ has the bank. Imagine having so much money and just having nowhere to spend it. You're in there for... Oh... All the Ravens are going to be going down, though. That's pretty nice fungals here.
Yeah, fungal is like one of the few things that that PDDs don't work on, and that's pretty big because it means that they're going to lose their advantage against the Corruptors.
Oh, well,
there's still a couple left. Still a couple.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit worried.
Supply.
He actually is. Yeah, he just hasn't been making anything.
No,
30 more Corruptors are coming out for CatZ, and you know what? He may be able to clean this up.
I'm really surprised, though.
Corruptors do really well against battle cruisers, and flying into those spore crawlers is not what he wants to do. CatZ is going to get 30 of these Corruptors out that are fully upgraded, I believe. Yes, 3-3 in the air, 3-3 on the ground. But if the Corruptors spawn away from the other Corruptors, that's never a good thing.
Here they come. Needs to put down the actual... Use the corruption spell, I think. He's not doing it, just starting to fire. And these battle cruisers, unbelievable though it may seem, are going to be cleaned up.
Yep. And CatZ is going to go ahead and take the huge supply lead. Lillekanin, just like that Protoss army that is... Well, I was going to say, like, you know, an army that is so expensive and hard to replenish. He has actually lost more resources than CatZ has, despite all of the carnage that we've been seeing in the past, 15 or so minutes.
It was the lack of the Ravens. If the Ravens had still been in that army, then as soon as the Corruptors started firing, pop, the PDDs would have gone down straight away, and the Corruptors would have been next to useless. Instead, no Ravens. They all got fungled to death by CatZ, and that was his opportunity, which he took with both hands.
So that's good for him because he did lose the Vipers, but killing the Ravens and, you know, the fact that, yeah, like you said, point defense drone is not an issue. That means you don't really have to yank them out. You don't have to get them out of position from the point defense drones anymore because of that. So a really, really good situation that came from a bad one. And wow, it looks like CatZ is actually in a pretty dominating position. We're looking at Lillekanin kind of starving at the moment.
Yeah, I'm wondering how he's going to capitalize on it, though. He's moving the swarm hosts up, which I do kind of like, but they're basically his only ground force at this point. So moving those around as his only ground force means that he's very immobile. They're not a massively fast unit, and all the time he's running around with the swarm host not attacking bases, he's not putting the pressure directly on Lillekanin. Although killing outlying bases is good too, you know, it suppresses the macro. But in general, I'd like to see a prevention of the battlecruiser remax.
Yeah. I really like this. Ready? CatZ is about to find out and that there is a base in the top right that does belong to Lillekanin, who has been mining it for quite a bit of time. But it's kind of funny because he's trying to make a hatchery there and he just can't. But there's a lot of things going on right now as that base of Lillekanin is going to go down. Infested Terrans putting in work, but that was all the energy, and here comes some more Ravens.
He really wants to be fungling those or finding some way to deal with those, and I don't know if Lillekanin is going to make the same mistake and lose all of his Ravens in that way again.
They don't have a lot of energy, though. There are a few that have full energy, but they're getting picked off. Good, Secret missile. Is it too late, though? Oh, big explosion on one of them. Not quite enough, though.
That one, yeah. I thought that one was going to go after that infestor, but he got away with it.
Yeah, poor guy. You know, he just wanted to get a fungal off. Maybe even a Noroparasite. Just one, you know? But nope. Well, the situation we have here is kind of broke Lillekanin. He is mining from the top right, but that's not going to be for long because CatZ does know about it now. And he lost the 2 bottom left bases as well. And he just doesn't have a lot of income, doesn't really have a lot of bank. Remember, he sacrificed so many of his SCVs in order to have this huge army, and the swarm host, again on the bottom side of the map, are going to be suiciding themselves. Oh man, that family, man, it's like
yeah, they've made some questionable decisions over the years.
They should not have reproduced.
It's a wonder they managed to.
I know. Surprised. Good job.
Yeah. There's one infestor who's just not burrowed, and he's kind of just trundling along above the ground. I didn't realise they moved at the same speed above and below the ground, though.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that either. They do move the fastest out of burrowed units, I think. Well, maybe the new roaches as well. Not the new roaches, but the improved tunneling claw roaches.
I think that's still faster. I think they're still faster because improved speed roaches are 2.25 and these are 2.6.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a massive attack going up towards one of CatZ's outlying bases. A ton of battlecruisers and Thors and other terrifying units such as those pushing out, and with those PDDs, they drive away the Corruptors, kill the base, and I said it before and I'll say it again, I don't think Lillekanin is going to make that mistake again.
No. He's going for it, and he now has a decent bank as well, and his army supply is so crazy. He's able to get enough time to get this going, but the fungals!
I cannot believe that happened again.
And CatZ moving away the targeted infestors. He is not going to allow all of his infestors to get killed here. Oh, and down go all the ravens, and way to go, CatZ. Once more, Lillekanin making that fatal error once again.
Still got 4 ravens, but actually neurling Thors that are going to start taking down their own allies very quickly.
Whoa, but the Corruptors are so weak. And now the Thors, he's gonna lose all of the Corruptors. Boom, baby. Now that relatively even resources lost tab has just spiked in CatZ's favor, and you do not want that tab to be in your favor ever.
No, you don't want that to happen. With the swarm hosts as well being attacked by the battlecruisers. Is he not? Okay, I thought he was going to run those away, but here they come. Two swarm hosts being taken out by Yamata cannons from long range, and more ravens already being sent in to reinforce for Lillekanin.
Oh, this is actually really bad. CatZ doesn't have like any larva at the moment. He's finally at the point where he has this huge bank, but the larva is pretty much lacking. So imagine that. You have like pockets full of money, and he just like, I don't have hands, man. I can't get them out of my pocket. So you don't even have a friend to go ahead and take it out there for you and, you know, pay for your stuff. But he just says, nope. Like, really, dude, I have money in my pocket. I swear, just reach in my pocket. I'm like, I'm not reaching in your pocket, you weirdo. Call the cops, man. But this is a really bad situation here for CatZ as Lillekanin is moving on in. Lava is going to eventually come, for sure, but is it going to be too late? CatZ is losing tech very shortly.
I'm just waiting to see when the next big engagement goes down. There have been so many times during this game where I've just been thinking the zoom out tool is not zooming out enough.
Yeah.
Massive battles during this, and CatZ is trying his best to hold on, but he is in serious trouble.
He is. He doesn't have the larva. He doesn't have the tech in a minute. I'm surprised. There he goes. Lillekanin gonna go ahead and kill the infestation pit as well as the Spire. A lot of units getting cancelled for CatZ. The Spire is down. The Hive is trying to come up. But, where? This is just, I can't even tell anymore. There are so many bases on this map.
Yeah, I've found it. He's got it in his, like, 6th or something. It's a good place to hide it, but not when this big Terran force is on its way. Another suicide host!
Oh, just trying. I know the pain, too, of trying to micro all of your swarm hosts in a situation like this where so much is going on, and there's one of them that is up instead of being burrowed like the rest of them, and then he just does that over and over again. But
here comes
luckily
the
for CatZ 15, Lava is on the map, but he doesn't have the tech anymore.
No.
This is looking bad.
Oh, Neuro's going down as well. Those Thors, but he just can't fight this. The splash from the tanks is so huge. Whenever the wave goes in, it's picked off before it really manages to do anything. There's just light damage to some Thors, maybe. And even when they do fire, the PDD cleans most of it up.
Yeah. That resources lost tab is starting to really go up for CatZ, and it's really not for Lillekanin, you know. There was a point where it was dead even. Then as soon as we saw those secret missiles on the Corruptors, so much traction Lillekanin was able to gain. And this is like a decathlon, as he does have to go around the whole map to kill everything.
The battlecruisers have just flown into a horde of Corruptors, and this is actually said that's where the Corruptors want to be, but instead they're choosing to run away.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could have taken that and won.
Battlecruisers are down on energy. They don't do the splash damage like the Ravens do, so it can be scary sometimes. But, you know, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. But this is such a weird situation where CatZ has finally managed to take a supply lead by using that money, but it's starting to fall. You know, he doesn't have that bank that he used to have, and Lillekanin is getting so much value out of his units, whereas CatZ is just kind of sacrificing it over and over again.
Yeah, over and over again. He's taken them out as CatZ did previously, and I guess at least the consolation for CatZ in that all his bases have gone is that at least he's mined out most of the ones that Lillekanin now wants to take, so he's not feeling too like he's missed out too much there. He's definitely had access to the majority of the resources, and actually a bit of an engagement going down over here at the very top of the map. A few neural parasites going down, stealing some tanks, stealing some Thor's good fungals as well, but the Corruptors engaging a little bit strangely.
Yeah, I think they're just maybe trying to soak up some shots so that the infestors don't get wrecked, but I mean, yeah, do you really want to do that here? If he's able to kill the units of Lillekanin somehow, he's in a pretty decent spot, but Lillekanin is setting up bases all over the map now again, and he has that control.
I'm not sure what this Overlord flock is doing down towards the south. It seems to basically just be baiting the Vikings, but I'm not sure why.
I saw them all over there. I kept looking. I'm like, oh, what's that? Is that like a big flock of broodlords or something? But no, that would not help too much.
No, not at all.
This is a game and a half. I was expecting it, and I realized, I'm like, you know what, CatZ, I've seen him play that very greedy style, and Lillekanin is just holding out and making it work. You know, I was a little bit scared at a point when I saw that CatZ had the whole map, but as that bank starts to dwindle from CatZ, it's starting to look a little bit more and more grim anytime that he tries to make something happen, and nothing happens.
Yeah, and he's the relative underdog in this series as well, considering he was last-minute replacement for JAKG, who only couldn't make it because he got kicked out of an internet cafe.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna knock out CatZ, and quite likely gonna knock out CatZ at least, and is going to advance to get another chance to beat Minigun.
I'm like, I feel like Lillekanin after this, if he does win this whole group, well, not win the group, but come second in the group and advances, he'll have like a poster inside of his room that it has like JAKG there in an internet cafe in front of a door, just like he died for our sins, like he took one for the team, and
he did
the mighty JAKG.
I was saying that Lillekanin, I was talking as if Lillekanin had this, and I just noticed how many swarm hosts CatZ actually has, and he's going to be able to theoretically base race quite well with this. But the problem is swarm hosts don't shoot up, and I say problem as in it's a damn good thing swarm hosts don't shoot up in general, but in this situation it is very favourable for CatZ, for Lillekanin that they don't.
Yeah, but I actually feel like CatZ playing this waiting game is working out in his benefit just for now, only because his army value is a little bit better now, and like you said, he does have that massive amount of swarm hosts. This air army, remember, Lillekanin lost all of those ravens to the fungal, which is pretty big, and his bank is not huge, but it is good.
Did you see? Did you see the secret missiles?
Did I miss
the
them?
infestors? Yeah, they were insane. All the infestors just popped all over the place. They've been neuling the battle cruisers and using those for Yamato cannons, but now the Corruptors are actually able to go in and clean up a little bit against those battle cruisers.
Yep, but here comes some more, and the ravens are here, but they don't have any energy, do they? Oh, massive amounts of, not secret missiles, but that is the Yamato cannon. So much damage. Terrible, terrible damage, as a famous man would say.
Yes, it is so hard. This is why a lot of the things that counter battle cruisers are actually countered by battle cruisers, because as soon as they get that Yamato cannon, they just one-shot most of them. Like Void Rays, I think, I can't remember if Void Rays are 250, 100 or 200, 100. I think they're 150, 100 as well, and they're a decent counter. Tempests aren't one-shot, but PDD hard counters them.
Well, this is actually really bad for CatZ. He lost all of his Corruptors. And look at here. Yes, exactly what I was thinking of. These swarm hosts, there may be a lot of them, and they can't shoot up, as you did state. And these battle cruisers may be taking a bit of their time to go and kill them, but eventually they're all going to die because there is a Raven there. Burrowing will not save you today. And there are no Corruptors. There are 8. And just no lava. CatZ has the money. Doesn't have the lava. 3 drones.
He's trying.
Yo, so check out the trick I can do. I can burrow and make these little cool things come out that crawl. But they don't shoot. The battle cruiser is not impressed as he does chase it down. Oh.
So many losses, and CatZ isn't mining anymore either. He's almost expended that massive bank, expended an 18,000 mineral bank down to just 3,000, and I never thought I'd say just 3,000 minerals.
Yeah.
But that is the situation it is for CatZ, and Lillekanin is still on 115 army supply.
Yeah. I mean, you have to look at Lillekanin's economy too. It's not the greatest either, you know. He only has 23 SCVs. And his bank is really low too. He's mining. Look at this. The income tab is only 300 at 224. Where the hell are these SCVs that he actually has? He's just not mining anymore. He has a lot of mules mining, and maybe they're mining gas. That's about it.
Yeah, could be. The little mech force is just going around trying to find the outlying buildings of CatZ, trying to chase him down. It's almost a base race situation, but only one player is racing the bases.
Yep.
So it's a little bit difficult to work out, but it does mean that Lillekanin looks very, very dominant at this point, and CatZ is desperately trying to find something that works, anything that can stop this force of his opponent.
CatZ has no tech at all. He has 4 hatcheries and 3 extractors and a bajillion spore crawlers to his name, but he has no tech. He can't make anything. He actually is making a spawning pool, and then he's gonna have to start from scratch. Not even a lair to his name. He has the money and the gas to do something, maybe a last ditch, but I mean, it's not looking good anymore. As I think, do battle cruisers outrange spores or no?
I don't think they do. You know, I think battle cruisers are range 6. They are range 6, yes. So no, they don't.
Well, this is gonna be a slow and steady purging of the base of CatZ as the spore crawlers are putting in work, but. Once again, there's just no tech. There's only a few Corruptors here, and that is way too many. Oh my goodness.
I gotta say, I'm really enjoying the use of the neural power sight throughout this game. In general, it's used really well to capture that ultimate army of Lillekanin in a desperate attempt to kind of cause it to work against itself, and it's really all that he had going for him in some of those situations when the army was so established, but it's just too strong. Lillekanin's army, despite having maybe not been the walkover force that I initially thought it was.
Yeah.
He can't kill it. CatZ can't kill it with the resources he has.
No, and you know what? Look at this. Well, it's on the ground. A lot of the swarm must have died, and now the cavalry has arrived. 2 Thors and siege tanks are going to be able to slowly but surely take out a lot of these spore crawlers, and a lot faster than the battle cruisers would. And then, oh no, there's actually a GG called. Wow! From CatZ, Lillekanin takes the series 2-0.